What is up, you guys? Some of you may know me, some of you may not. You might be new to my YouTube channel, so allow me to introduce myself. I'm Nerdy Tavern. I'm an internet mixologist that makes cocktails based off of movies, TV shows, video games, animes, you name it. Now today, I figured I'd start off my YouTube channel by showing you guys some of the tools that you're going to need to have in your own personal home bar if you want to make cocktails yourself. So let's get tipsy. Now to start us off, this item is not exactly essential, but personally I believe so. But you actually really don't have to have it for your home bar, but it's a good bar mat. Keeps your workstation clean, makes it easy to clean up when you're done, and nobody likes a mess. So you can find a good bar mat off of Amazon. Personally, that's where I got mine, so they're pretty easy to find. Now for the real essential items. A cocktail shaker. Now for my videos, if you follow me on Instagram or on TikTok, or if you've even watched my YouTube shorts, you'll see that I use a 3-piece shaker that comes with shaker tin, the lid with a built-in strainer inside, and the lid for that. This is going to be the most common shaker that you see in home bars due to its versatility and the fact that it has a built-in strainer. You won't see these used a lot in actual bars though. In actual bars, they tend to use Boston shakers, which is either 2 tins slapped together or a pint glass and a tin, so then you can see what's going on inside the shaker as they shake up your cocktail. But you can find these pretty much anywhere. Some liquor stores carry them. You can get them at Walmart, off of Amazon. Very easy to find. And it's an absolute essential item if you're going to be making cocktails, because shaking actually can affect the taste versus stirring it. So this is one item that you definitely need to have in your home bar. The next most essential item in your home bar is a measuring jigger. Now, they come in all shapes and sizes. There's the double jigger, which is the most common that you'll see used in bars. Personally, I use a jigger that has lines marking the different measurements. I can get up to 2.5 ounces in this jigger. And some people frown on using this style. But personally, I want to know exactly how much so then I can make the exact drink every single time. Again, personal preference, but in order to do a home bar, you're gonna definitely need one of these. Next up on our list is a strainer. Now, I know I said the most common shaker that you're gonna find already has a strainer built in. There is one issue with a 3-piece strainer. The pressure that builds up when you're shaking this is gonna be so tight, sometimes it's difficult to get off of there. Not only that, but I'll show you. The holes in this strainer are very small. If you muddle herbs or fruit in your shaker to get that nice fresh flavor in your cocktail, bits and pieces can get stuck in there and the ice can get over the holes, block it, and restrict the flow through the holes into your glass. So it's good to have a separate strainer. Now there's a couple different kinds. Personally, I prefer the Hawthorne strainer. The Hawthorne strainer has a spring around the edge and can fit on almost any cocktail. You slap it on, like so, strain it out, keeps the ice in your shaker tin while allowing the cocktail to flow freely. There's not a bunch of holes to get clogged up while you're pouring your cocktail out. But there is one downside. Again, if you've used herbs or fresh fruit in your cocktail, this won't stop all the pieces due to the large holes and the spring. It will catch larger pieces, but some of the smaller pieces will still make it through, which leads us to the next essential item on our list, a mesh strainer. Now, a mesh strainer is used for double straining cocktails that have those fresh ingredients in it, such as fruits and herbs and the like. Now, These are relatively cheap, relatively easy to find. I got mine off of Amazon. I think I spent $5 at the most. Now, I know it may not seem like a big thing, you know. Who cares if there's bits and pieces of the fruit or the herbs floating around in my cocktail? The visuals of the cocktails are as essential as the tastes themselves. If you have a guest over and you hand someone a cocktail that's murky and you see bits and pieces floating around in it, you're going to be hesitant to try it. You're going to be looking at it and going, do they know what they're doing? So it's essential to make sure your cocktail looks just as good as it tastes. So a mesh strainer is a must-have in your home bar arsenal. Speaking of fresh fruit and herbs, the next thing on our list is a muddler. A muddler is used to grind down or mash fruit and fresh herbs in your cocktail. There's a few different kinds. Personally, I have both a wood one and this metal one with a plastic foot. The wood ones tend to last longer, but I like this heavy duty one. I feel like I get more out of it when I'm using it. It has little feet on the end of it used to break down those fruit and herbs, really draw out those oils and juices, and nothing will beat the fresh flavor that you can get from muddling fresh ingredients in your cocktails. There is no synthetic flavor that can live up to the fresh flavors of fresh fruit, fresh herbs, you name it. Speaking of which, the next item you're going to need is a juicer. Now, some people may not have the time or the patience to use a juicer. You may think, I can get juice from the store. Why do I need it fresh? Fresh juice will always beat pre-bottled juice anytime, especially because of the preservatives that they'll add to make the shelf life longer on those bottled juices. A good juicer to draw out the fresh juice of lemons, limes, oranges, grapefruits, any kind of citrus fruit is going to be 1,000 times better than any bottled stuff that you can get, I promise. So a good juicer is always a must-have if you're doing bartending. Which leads us to our next item, a good sharp knife that you designate just for using for your home bar. I have a Japanese steel knife that I use for cutting my fruit. I use it for citrus peels. I use it for cutting the fruit in half, making lime wedges, lemon wedges, you name it. I know a lot of you will think, you don't need a knife in a home bar, but again, fresh fruit is always the way to go when making cocktails. Another essential item is the bar spoon. Now, a bar spoon differs from a regular spoon due to its long, straight shape, allowing you to reach down to the bottom of your shaker tin, your glasses, whatever you're using to make your cocktails. Because some glasses have a bit of an odd shape. A normal spoon with that deep curve on it will be difficult to get down to the bottom and angle to stir. With these, stick it straight in. Slight motion of the wrist, you can stir the entire cocktail up. Plus, the grooves on the edges of the shaft of this spoon are great for pouring carbonated ingredients down into your glass without spilling any. You set it so it touches the bottom of your glass, touch the edge of your soda, tonic water, club soda, whatever you got to the edge of that, it'll follow the grooves straight down into your cocktail. No fuss, no mess, no cleanup. It's great. Also, bar spoons are good for layering. Now, layering is when you have two different types of liquor or maybe something else, like cream. Touch this to the inner edge of your glass, slowly pour onto it, and you can create a nice layered effect. If you check out my YouTube shorts or my Instagram or my TikTok, you'll see quite a few drinks where I've layered to create a nice effect to represent the character or the item that I'm basing my drinks off of. One of the most common things that I use this for, though, is floating a layer of 151 proof rum on the surface of the drink, so then you can ignite it and get that nice flaming effect. But you have to be careful with flaming drinks. I'm going to put that out there now. We'll get into that more later in a different video, but flaming drinks are not for the uninitiated. You have to do your research. You have to know what you're doing. That is all the 100% essential items that I feel you must have in your home bar in order to do good cocktails. Now, there are 2 more items I want to show you. Not exactly necessary to have, but I feel like they make the whole bartending experience so much easier on the home bartender. Let me show you. First, we've got the bar pour spout. Stick this down in the end of a bottle, turn it up, restricts the flow, makes pouring so much easier. When I first started, I had no idea what I was doing. I'm self-taught in home bartending, I will fully admit that. But these make your life so much easier because some bottles have a larger pour spout in them, and sometimes you make mistakes. It's hard to control when you're turning that bottle up, especially when you're first learning. You can get a 10-pack of these off of Amazon. They are great to have in your home bar. I really recommend, if you're going to be doing a number of cocktails, picking up a handful of these. And last but certainly not least on our list is a good cocktail journal. As you can see, I've got my logo that I put as a sticker on the front of mine. Keeping track of your cocktails, if you're making original cocktails, is going to be essential. Now, if you've got a cocktail book at home with classic recipes in it, or if you just want to Google, look it up on YouTube, watch how to make it, then you don't need a journal. If you're making your own cocktails at home, this is really important. It makes keeping track of everything so much easier. Mine gives you the name, the date, the type of glass you used, ingredients with measurements, garnishes, and additional instructions, how difficult it was to make, and your own personal 5-star rating of how you feel about that cocktail. You can find cocktail journals all over, again, Amazon, and that's where I got mine. Now, downside to mine, it only holds 100 recipes at a time. I post 1, sometimes 2 cocktails a day. I've got over 300 recipes that I've created so far. So I've had to buy quite a few of these. But this is definitely a must-have item if you're going to be making a lot of original recipes. Helps you keep track. Then you can go back, look at your recipe, and say, that was great, I want to make that again. Or, that was good, but not perfect. I want to tweak this. What can I do to make it better? Let me look at it. So, that is all I got for you guys today. However, make sure to like, subscribe, turn on notifications. If you want, stay tuned. I got so many more videos for you guys coming. I'm going to be making recipes out of books and reviewing them. I'm going to be making custom recipes that are original that you can only find here on YouTube, and so much more. So, thanks for watching, guys.